So Andrew Wiggins is a key contributor to the Golden State Warriors. He was their second best player last year during their championship run. But this year in the playoffs hasn't really been the same. Now he missed like 2 months of the regular season leading into the playoffs for some personal reasons. No, there's all kinds of speculation and stuff on what that is. Not going to get into that. He missed 2 months. But since he's came back and since he's been in the playoffs, he's kind of been relatively quiet for the most part, right? I mean, he hasn't been terrible throughout this stretch, and he was better in the Sacramento series than he was in this Lakers series, right? He's been very quiet. Over the 5 games in which he's played against the Lakers, he's put up 15, 11, 16, 17, and 25. But for the most part, again, just kind of sloppy, right? Like he hasn't really seemed to really find his rhythm. He's shooting 43% from the field. He did just come off of his best game so far. He shot 55, just under 56% from the field, chipped in with 25 points, which was the most points he has scored so far in this postseason. And that is hoping to carry over as they get ready to take on the Lakers here in Game 6. Now, personally, like I said, I think the Lakers win in 6 games. Before the series started, talked about how I thought this series would go very much like the Memphis series. Up until this point, it has fallen into place that way, and the Lakers look to close out later today. But it looks like the Lakers are going to catch a break as Andrew Wiggins is doubtful for this game. So, per reports, according to ESPN's Kendra Andrews, Warriors swingman Andrew Wiggins is considered questionable for the game due to a left costal cartilage fracture, which is an area of the rib cage. So it looks like Andrew Wiggins has a fracture of the ribs. Now, this is good and bad for the Lakers. Now, obviously, the good is Andrew Wiggins is a guy that could go get 25, 20 points, and is also one of their better defenders, right? He's one of the guys on the wing that can really just guard multiple positions and make things difficult for the Lakers. Without him, it puts the Warriors in a very tough spot, right? Do they go with Kuminga and try to have that size and athleticism? Do they end up going with Looney and Draymond and then go with Gary Payton, who's had some success in the starting lineup since being interjected into that, and then go with Steph and Clay and play Clay at the 3? That could be a possibility, but that kind of helps the Lakers match up better, right? Because with Andrew Wiggins and his ability to play both sides of the ball, kind of be twitchy, super athletic, guy that can just go generate a bucket, knock down the open 3, be a 3-level scorer. That is huge for the Warriors. And them losing that is definitely going to hurt the Warriors. And that becomes something that the Lakers should take advantage of. And it's not the Lakers' fault if something like this ends up happening. Your job as the Lakers is to beat the teams in front of you. And the Warriors have been a team that has, throughout this dynasty, really kind of benefited from all kinds of injuries, right? Chris Paul in that Houston series where it looked like Houston might actually win this series. He goes down, he gets hurt. Several times against the Cavs where Kyrie and Kevin Love fell apart. I mean, there are moments throughout this entire series, even in this playoffs, right? Having Fox break his finger. He never really looked the same. He struggled dribbling. His assists went up, but his scoring went down. He wasn't as aggressive and attackative. This has kind of been a thing for the Warriors. But the reason I said it's good and bad is because the bad part is that, one, I want the Warriors to be fully healthy. Because if they're fully healthy and we go in and smack them like I know we can and I know we will, and the Lakers win and close out this series, I don't want any... the narrative, especially with the media and the fans and stuff, the narrative is going to be, oh, if Andrew Wiggins went down, the Lakers wouldn't have won this series, which is just a silly, ridiculous type of just narrative. But it's a narrative that's going to exist, right? Andrew Wiggins, if he misses Game 6, that's going to be the excuse, right? Oh, Warriors suffered a major injury. And not the fact that the Lakers just won, and they would have won with or without Andrew Wiggins. And Andrew Wiggins hasn't been that huge impact player for them in this series, but still, that's going to be the narrative because they always try to find that asterisk with the Lakers whenever anything happens. And so I'm hoping he plays. Personally, I think he will. I think he'll at least give it a go. At least at the time of recording this video, we don't have any information. He's doubtful. My guess is that he goes through some type of workout regime and just see what he can do and what he can't do. Obviously, if it's super severe, you don't want him risking his career or worse, his health. Because, certain rib injuries are very bad, right? You got your lungs and all kinds of stuff right there, right? So if he is something severe, I could see him sitting out this game and very likely would miss the rest of at least this playoff series, which, again, is an advantage for the Lakers. But I do think if he can kind of, give it a go, I think he'll try. He'll at least try to make it work, try to make it happen. But it'll be interesting to see how the Warriors adjust if he doesn't play. Because again, they have some options. Do they go Moody, right, and kind of just maybe stick to the small route, or even go Jordan Poole and just go like I said, go with just go tiny, right? Go with 4 guards and Draymond Green down in the middle. Do they go and try to add JaMychal Green? Do they go and try to do Looney and Draymond with, Gary Payton, Clay, and Steph? There's several ways that they could go about it. Do they put Kuminga in that spot? That's something else that they could do, although he hasn't really played very much. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of options for the Warriors. I don't think it's really going to matter regardless. I mean, look, if the Lakers play their game, and we have seen this throughout this series, when the Lakers play their game, they're the better team. They get the easier shots, they get the easier looks. Even in Game 5, the Warriors, yes, they won the game. They won the game in relatively controlled fashion. They were up double digits pretty much the entirety of the game. Lakers got it close a couple times, but it just never really felt like a game that the Lakers could win. But early on, the Warriors were shooting the lights out, and the Lakers were just getting easier buckets and had the lead still at one point because they were able to just generate such easy buckets. Like, in this series, one team has just looked extremely overwhelmed at times, and that is the Warriors. The great equalizer for the Warriors is shooting the lights out. Like, when they're shooting 40, 50%, that's their ability to kind of stay into this game and stay into this series. But when they're not, they've had their struggles, right? And it also comes down to who's the aggressor, right? Game 5, the Warriors were clearly the aggressor. They were the ones that were going after all the 50-50 balls. They were getting all the offensive rebounds. They were just outplaying, outworking, and out-hustling the Lakers in Game 5. That's just really what it was. Now, the refs were bad, but it was more than that. It wasn't just solely on the refs. Lakers were terrible defensively. The Warriors were just getting whatever they wanted in numerous ways, but so were the Lakers. The problem was that the Lakers were already in a hole, so just trading buckets back and forth, they were never able to get to that spot where, okay, we're in control, we can now take over and win this game. And this just felt like a game where it was like, man, if the Lakers can just string together like 3 or 4 stops, they might actually win this game. But they just never could, and it just never really felt like they were going to. I had hope, I was optimistic, but when you're watching that game in real time, you're just kind of like, yeah, I don't think this is going to happen. But regardless, I think the Lakers, with or without Andrew Wiggins, have more than enough to get this done. Andrew Wiggins hasn't really been a problem for the Lakers. Even the 25 points that he scored, which was his best game of the postseason, it didn't really feel like he was the factor. Right, it kind of felt like the Lakers' lack of defense, the refereeing at times, Steph Curry, and even Jordan Poole. He kind of picked it up a little more. But in my opinion, the hustle, the Draymond Green effect. Draymond had his best game of the postseason as well, and that felt a lot more impactful. And then Steph was doing Steph things. Every time the Lakers started to look like, okay, they're going to take control of this game, boom, Steph hit a big shot, which is what he does, right? You got to credit Steph. Steph always made sure, like, okay, I got to make sure that they don't get this within reason to where they can come back and beat us. Credit Steph. So I think the Draymond effect, the hustle, the refs, and Steph were much more noticeable and impactful than Andrew Wiggins was. Andrew Wiggins, again, played a great game, but it kind of felt like a quiet 25 rather than a loud 25. Like when Steph gets his, 25, 27, even when he's having like an off game, it's loud, right? Like Clay does it, it's loud. Jordan Poole does it, it's loud. I think it's just the type of plays in which they do it. Where Andrew Wiggins is just like, okay, he got to the basket. Oh, he got like an easy dunk. Oh, okay, transition. You know what I mean? Like he's not really like, he's not getting 25, crossing dudes up, hitting some spectacular plays, hitting momentum shifting plays on the regular. So I don't think that he's the problem for the Lakers. Like, I don't think the Lakers are like, man, we can't let Andrew Wiggins beat us, right? I think it's more of like, I think the Lakers would rather Andrew Wiggins go off for 30 than Steph or Clay. That's been the game plan, right? Like, don't let Steph and Clay kill us. Don't let Steph and Clay beat us. If Draymond Green gets 30 and, Gary Payton gives 20, fine, you live with that. Right? But don't let Steph and Clay beat you. So Andrew Wiggins is kind of that other afterthought. But he is still a very good player. He's still a guy that is one of their better two-way players. So, of course, if they lose him this series, that's going to be very impactful. So, I don't know. It's interesting. It's also kind of interesting how the tables kind of turn, right? There was all the questions with Anthony Davis, and now there's the Andrew Wiggins thing, and you heard all the chatter and laughter and all this stuff about AD. I don't know. Maybe it's karma. But anyway, I never want to see anybody hurt ever. I don't ever want to see players miss games, right? Like, because I want the Lakers to beat them full strength. I want them to beat them at their best. Because in order to be the best, you got to beat the best. And if the Lakers beat the best, then they're the best, and the best way to do that, say best 10 times fast, but the best way to do that is to play the team full strength. So that way there is no ways for people to add that little asterisk or whatever. I mean, people are always going to find that excuse. And the free throw one is the one that people always try to use, which is just, you can always tell when somebody's uneducated and doesn't understand the game of basketball very quickly when they start throwing that argument around. And this will just be another one. This will just be like, oh yeah, the free throw disparity and Andrew Wiggins didn't play. And just, you can tell them like, you clearly didn't watch the series. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? What do you think it's an injury? You bummed? You happy? I don't know why you'd be happy about somebody getting injured, but I can understand being happy that this is a benefit for the Lakers, that this helps the Lakers. But anyway, again, love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Let me know.